What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here at DataDash, and today is July 21st of 2021. Well, folks, I hope you are having a fantastic day wherever you are. And in today's video, we're going to be diving into two central topics, not only analyzing Bitcoin, as well as altcoin dominance and some different metrics within the price action and dominance sector of crypto. But outside of that, we're going to be focusing in on talking about real accumulation. As much as prices have started to look a little bit scary for some, we're starting to see some major increases within actual accumulations of large holders, in this case whales in the market, which are really the major flows of capital, either in or out, that are going to drive prices higher or lower. So let's go ahead and dive into it. And outside of that as well, guys, we'll talk about it a little bit later. I don't want to spend too much time here at the beginning, but we've just recently launched our first merchandise. This has been something that has been highly requested for a long period of time. I'll talk a little bit more about it later on, but you guys can check out the link down below in the description if you want to check out the Exuberance hoodie, one of my favorite words that I use here on the channel. So we'll talk a little bit more about it later on in the video. But starting off here, I want to go ahead and just focus again on the sheer amount of price action we're seeing here, this upward of nearly 4% in price, reversing any of yesterday's losses, again at the same exact zone that we tend to see accumulation, and we don't see any larger investors on chain selling their positions. And we're going to be talking about that more and more as we go throughout the video. In fact, I'd like to start by looking simply at the metrics here. We can do all the TA we want. We can say if this is bullish or bearish, but generally speaking, we see that people come in around this magical $29,000, $30,000 range and start building up positions. In fact, we don't just have to guess this. We can look at a variety of data sources. Now, albeit there are some variations between this exact same metric on two different sources that we follow, either look into Bitcoin or Glassnode, which we'll take a look at as well. We can see here that very clearly we're not seeing any type of dumping activity from whales who have over 1,000 Bitcoin or more. Basically, this is measuring, as we talked about the other day on the channel, the amount of addresses on the Bitcoin network that have over 1,000 BTC. And what do we know? We've actually been seeing a general rise through all of July, higher lows and higher highs with a massive spike here, an increase of around 50 addresses from what we had beforehand that now have entered into the 1,000 Bitcoin club. So this is that kind of accumulation that can happen, again, even though it's not showcasing in price right away, because they're building these positions into fear. They're setting the limit orders in the market. They're building the support in this case that leads to these types of reversals where, and you can see here on the hourly chart, right? They're providing and filling a lot of their orders here, whereas a market order, in this case, can easily start to clear up here because there's not much liquidity on the sell side for limit orders. And albeit we get back here to the same price range we were at beforehand. But outside of that as well, to play a bit more conservative here, you can see here on Glassnode that the metrics don't exactly line up. Even though they do look very similar in the broad sense, you can see that there is an increase here. It's not as dramatic as the one we're seeing here on looking at Bitcoin. Now, I don't want to spend so much time here to dive in for hours and hours into which one is more accurate, if we added 50 wallets or just a dozen additional wallets since the low here. I don't really want to argue about that or claim which one is true, and make sure you guys can see that so my webcam doesn't get in the way. You can see that we've had a general uptrend here, like we saw in the previous analytics throughout all of July here, really starting here at the bottom of June, or sorry, the tail end of June. We've been seeing an increase here. We're not seeing whales selling en masse because this isn't the type of period where smart money or large liquidity wants to exit positions. And that's, again, I've heard this point from a lot of people out there that it's like, Nick, but isn't it going to be that when the prices get down to 29,000 or 30,000 that they're going to sell? Well, we just saw again, just like we did over the past couple times here. As we go here to the price chart, go back here to the daily, every single time we come in this range, buy side volume dominates. We get multiple days of green price action or a significant short-term rebound. Because buyers are coming at this range. They love discounts. Those institutional investors, the corporate treasurers, they're not going to buy Bitcoin to 65K. If they're the front runners, right? If they're the risk takers here, right? They're going to go ahead and wait for a nice discount. The pre-Elon Musk price, right? When Elon was getting in, remember back here in February, and everyone just thought, oh, the institutions are just going to buy Bitcoin. It's going to go to 100K. Look, I mean, that's something we do believe is going to happen long term. We do believe 100K, 200K is a reasonable price range for this cycle. But again, we need to have these types of corrections for, again, us to not only solidify a higher level of support than where we had last time, which was really back here in June, right? We usually come back here to the midpoint of any given cycle, right? So we had kind of wave 1, wave 2 here. We have the midpoint, and then we continue on for the broader bull market, right? So we can see here that we're getting buyers coming in here, albeit it's not crazy significant. We're in the early part of the day, and we revoked any of the losses from yesterday. Plus, again, it's just like every other single time that we visited this range. It's the same general support range that we had back here in January, and buyers come in every single time and drag the price up either to the mid 30,000 range or upward towards 40,000 for Bitcoin. So again, I'm not seeing the dramatic fear here. And there's another indicator that I think, above all, as you guys know, is probably one of the most solidifying indicators that this isn't a per se market top, at least not yet. And outside of that as well, that we're probably still seeing some investors eager to take risk in the coming months. And that is within altcoin dominance. We don't need to look at any fancy indicators here, guys, to realize that the market is not really excessively concerned. We can see it within altcoin dominance. The major leaps and bounds we made since back here in January, from over 27% market dominance to over 53 to 54%. A massive leap forward for dominance. And albeit we had an original relative high for the cycle around 60%, so it has depleted a little bit since the May sell-off. We really haven't seen a full trend reversal yet. We haven't had lower lows. We've had lower highs, but we're also making higher lows. So similar to a normal neutral wedge, this is a neutral trend. We're not trying to trade this. If you're either not in altcoins or you are in altcoins, this isn't the period of time to really make any decisive decisions because we don't have a trend confirmation of where things are about to go. So that's the important thing to bear in mind here. Now, one ratio I wanted to take a look at here, because I know some of you are big, kind of fans of how we look at ratios here on the channel. I want to hear it in the comments, my ADA and ETH fans, albeit I don't want you guys to be nasty or rude to one another. I'm interested in pretty much any protocol at the end of the day. The one thing I wanted to talk about is the ADA ETH ratio. All right, we haven't been looking at too much ratios here, but this can be a period of time where, albeit if you don't have to realize a lot of capital gains, and maybe you could realize some capital losses if you've built a position and maybe you're down on it, might be good to do that. Depends on your jurisdiction for taxes and stuff. But the major thing I'd say is to watch for a potential rotation from ETH to ADA. Now, I'm massively exposed to Ethereum and ERC20 tokens. You guys know this, and I really don't have much of a position in ADA. But as I did a video a couple weeks ago, I had talked about one of the positions I might consider is ADA here, if we can solidify this range of previous resistance multiple times in the past as new support, similar to what we had back here in December 2017 before we had the final wave here for Cardano. So you can see here again, this is ADA against Ethereum. The BTCs on the ratio cancel out. And the way you can type this, and I usually try to use the longest price history, so Bittrex is probably a good candidate for both of these. Bittrex, ADA BTC divided by Bittrex, ETH BTC. And this will give you the actual rates in the market. You just hit enter and you'll get this chart here. So again, I wanted to emphasize here at the end of the day, guys, this is going to be an important thing to watch if you're looking at what altcoins you're going to be exposed to or which ones are really going to lead out here over the coming months. If ADA can hold support here against Ethereum, we could really start to see a leapfrog, I think, where ADA continues to outperform Ethereum. But this doesn't mean that Ethereum isn't going to perform well or isn't going to recover. That's an important thing to keep in mind. I think that we're in a position where altcoins could still continue to garner more dominance in the market. So that's just something to bear in mind here, even as everyone's very fearful here. You can not only get a dollar discount on all these things, you can get a BTC discount as things have pulled back generally against Bitcoin since the May highs. All right, so I want to go ahead and spend some time here, guys, albeit it is a early version of the website here. This is one of the many kind of small changes that Jeff and I wanted to add here towards the overall Data Dash channel and building out the community. So we finally have a merch store here. We've got our first actual product line here, which is the Exuberance hoodie. So you guys can see here as I zoom in. This was actually a design idea someone had made an Exuberance hoodie a long time ago. Just for myself, and I thought, you know what, I wanted to make an iteration of that, and you can see here it's like this textbook dictionary print of exuberance, and it plays off of one of my favorite words I like to use when I'm describing the market. When the market is bullish, when everyone's excited, when everyone's FOMOing in, there's pure exuberance. And as you all very clearly know, I bet there were many of them in today's video, I like to repeat certain terms or have like crutch terms that I'll use a lot. And exuberance is one of those. There was sheer exuberance back when Dogecoin was soaring high, when Elon Musk and Tesla as a whole bought $1.5 billion of Bitcoin. That's one of my favorite terms, and I think that this hoodie kind of exemplifies one of our favorite slogans on the channel. And you can see here that you've got the back, you got the logo here, you got Data Dash. We've got I think an exclusive amount here. I don't know the exact specific number we have, but you can order in your specific size. You can choose between different kind of color formats for the background. I like this heather forest and black color here for the hoodie. I think it looks nice with the logo. But you guys are welcome to check it out at the link down below in the description. It's a great way to support the channel, rep the brand in this case. And if there's any type of merch that you guys would want to see, whether it's merchandise related to clothing or certain types of items, whatever it is, let me know what you guys want to see. Leave a comment down below. But it's just, again, something that many of you had requested we do for the past couple years, and we finally got around to doing it. But anyways, that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you liked it, consider dropping a like. Consider subscribing and hitting the bell icon if you haven't. If you like this kind of macro analysis that's not based on emotions, but rather focusing on the market analytics that we have to work with. And until the next video, I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, everyone.